It's October again, which of course means one thing. You all know.
Free candy?
True, but that isn't what we're talking about today.
Fall weather.
Yeah, but that's not what the video's about.
Canadian Thanksgiving.
No! I mean, yes, but I'm talking about another super spooky Radnat Halloween special.
You still make videos?
So, anyways, what super spooky game is gonna scare me or maybe try and kill me this year? Ow! What? Sonic.
It's Decapitac.
It's Decapitac. I guess that's got sort of a Monster Mash kind of vibe, but it can't be all that scary, right? Uh-oh!
From your grave.
Decapitac, starring Chuck D. Head, is a Sega Genesis platformer game from cult-famous developer Vic Tokai, released in 1991. For this review, I'm playing the version on the Sonic and Sega Genesis collection on PS3, which, oh my god, if you're a retro game fan and you don't own this collection, you are missing out. There's even a PC version with a VR living room, which is a sick little detail.
Whoa! It's like I'm really in a room playing video games.
The story is the evil Max Decap comes from the underworld and takes over Spooky Skeleton World. And this professor with a melty face tells you that you're the only hope after the whole Skelly Man world gets scattered to pieces. You play as headless mummy zombie Chuck D. Head, an unfortunately ironic name considering he doesn't have one. A head, that is. And clearly he's self-conscious about it, because he will stack a skull on his shoulders to compensate. Chuck attacks by throwing this head, or shooting out his face innards to smash into enemies. The skull returns to you after it's thrown, and it'll hurt enemies on its way back, which is pretty dang cool. You know, maybe the skull isn't all that important to Chuck after all, if he's just willing to chuck the head. Chuck the head. Chuck D. Head. Oh, I think I get it. I think?
What does it mean?
You can also attack by jumping on enemies like most platformers, but Chuck goes a little extra by hammering them into the ground. Hardcore. Chuck's movement is kinda slidey and slippy, like an ice level, which can be kind of annoying, but would you look at these kooky animations? That is cute as heck. I will forgive the slippiness for the goofiness that it brings. Chuck can also hover like Yoshi for some reason, which I will say adds some interesting elements to the platforming as you kinda jump and scuttle your way around enemies. I initially wasn't loving the character and enemy designs of this game, but not gonna lie, it quickly grew on me after I met cute Goggle Zotter Boy. He was like a straight blast of sweet serotonin that made me appreciate all the other designs even more. These goofy werewolves, the cute skull boys, and even these apples with arrows on their heads. I see what you did there, y'all. There's also a menu of potions and elixirs Chuck can use for various power-ups like a screen-clearing attack or temporary invincibility. It's also got some funky music that really fits the Monster Mash aesthetic I was talking about earlier. Although, the funeral dirge when you die definitely feels a lot more dark and Castlevania-y than the rest of the games. Being perfectly honest, initially I wrote a review saying this game was kinda meh, but that doesn't make for an interesting video, so I gave the game a little more time and it grew on me. I love the design of Chuck a whole lot, and the head throwing mechanic is pretty fun, even though it can be pretty easy to lose the head power up fairly quickly. And look at this otter boy! How can you not love him? Ah!
So, I guess that's all there is to say about Decap Attack starring Chuck D. Head. That's everything, right? Huh. Wrap that one up a little quicker than usual. So I guess I can pack it in early this year. So, goodbye.
Hey, wait, aren't you gonna talk about the game Decap Attack used to be?
Oh hey, it's sheepytina from sheepytina.
Hey there, Radnat from Radnat. I thought I might give you a hand. I guess during your research you must have missed that Decap Attack was a completely different game in Japan.
Sir? What does it mean?
Okay. While we in North America and PAL regions just know the game as Decap Attack, it's actually a westernized version of a title called Magical Hat no Butobi Tabo Daiboken, or Magical Hat's Turbo Flight Adventure. Magical Hat's Turbo Flight Adventure is actually based on the anime series Magical Hat that aired shortly before the game's release. Instead of Chuck D. Head, you play as Hat, the descendant of the legendary hero Magical Hat that fought the evil king of Devildom and used his power to seal Devildom away. The game appears to closely follow the story of the anime series, and it just so happens that Decap Attack follows the same basic plotline too. In fact, despite the huge difference in presentation, the two games play mostly the same, with the characters having nearly identical controls and moves. The most noticeable difference aside from the visuals is that in Magical Hat you die in one hit, while Decap Attack gives you multiple hit points to make things easier. Much like in Decap Attack, your body does count for an extra hit, so long as you hold on to them of course. Still, being able to die in one hit does make the game's boss fights much more stressful. On the other hand, with no need for health pickups, Magical Hat hands out lives like candy, and if you do get a game over, you can continue from the start of the world you were just on. Even though the gameplay is similar, the levels are different from those in Decap Attack. Well, sometimes they are. Magical Hat also has a slot machine bonus game that isn't present in Decap Attack. As for why they changed the game so much, well, Magical Hat wasn't really a thing in North America and Europe, and it's unlikely that the developer would have been able to secure the anime license outside of Japan anyway. Changing a game this drastically for Western audiences wasn't actually that uncommon back in the day. One well-known example would be Puyo Puyo, which you may know as Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. And there you have it. In its original form, Decap Attack was a totally different game. The localized version we got completely changed the graphics of the characters.
Wait, so you're saying in Japan, Decap Attack is completely sans Chuck D. Head?